And we are so live. That is incredible. Let us go and continue where we left off, shall we? We are here. Okay. Fraîche Passiflore by Maître Parfumeur et Gantier, a 3-star passion fruit. Tropical fruit not only can be taken as evidence for the existence of a god, but can raise the question of whether there might be several gods. Passion fruit and mango clearly hail from a different celestial continent than do peaches and pears. Questions for science to answer. How do fruits know when they're in exotic places? Who taught them to samba? No doubt the Fruity Genome Project will tell all. In the meantime, for the perfumer, exotic fruits pose a thorny problem. What makes a lychee, passion fruit, or mango plausible is the judicious admixture of foul-smelling things like dimethyl sulfide and other sulfur chemicals. Add too much and you end up with durian. Add just enough and the stuff is gone in seconds. Accordingly, the first 5 minutes of Fraîche Passifleur are heavenly, and the remainder merely nice. And we have, never mind. I mean, if there is a viewer, hi viewer, how are you? If there isn't, I'll just continue on. Fraîcheur Muscissime by Maître Parfumeur et Gantier, a 3-star citrus musk. Very clean citrus musk, intended as a feminine but more like an Edwardian masculine. Quiet, refined, a touch perverse in a subtly low-key way, which brings to mind Beatrice Campbell's famous comment. So does it really matter what these affectionate people do, so long as they don't do it in the street and frighten the horses? Look at Turin. Excuse me? Hi viewer, by the way. We got Frangipane, or is it Frangipane? Not sure. By Chantecaille, a 3-star woody floral. The Chantecaille scents are essentially light floral waters for women in beige lipstick and straightened hair. We got a second viewer. Hi, second viewer. How are you? This is the most wearable of the lot. A sweet, woody vanillic orange blossom that smells slightly bitter, like dilute chocolate, with a mildly off-kilter cucumber note lurking inside. Blandly pretty, and just interesting enough to stand out without disturbing anyone. Like a young socialite who takes a Latin dance course and ever after is known as the daring one in her sect. Tiny Sanchez. Frangipani Absolute by Ormond Jane, a 4-star fresh floral. One variety of the tropical lay flower known as frangipani smells like jasmine, another like peach. Ormond Jane's version finds a sunny halfway point between the two and miraculously manages to maintain a seamless impression of just picked dewy freshness and intensity for hours, from the burst of its lemony start through its long, cool, cedary dry down. Tanya Sanchez. Frankincense and Myrrh by Check and Speak, a 3-star frankincense myrrh. The combination of these two resinoids of biblical fame is always interesting, because when smelled in solution, as opposed to smoke, they seem to cancel each other's liturgical tendencies, and come across as slightly dustier and dirtier, with a lemony angle to the myrrh, and a musky side to the incense. This very nice and very natural fragrance, for once, does exactly what it says on the can. Look at her in. French Can by Caron, a 1-star sweet floral. The story I've heard is that Caron created French Can to appeal to the American perfume buyer. On the basis of this insipid, powdery, sweet floral, we can assume they didn't think much of her. Tanya Sanchez. French Connection Fragrance by FCUK, a 2-star citrus floral. I was told this was the fragrance formerly known as FCUK Her, presumably renamed because it wasn't that funny after all. This is a nice, if short-lived, eau de cologne in the lemon verbena direction. Tanya Sanchez. French Lime Blossom Cologne by Joe Malone. A 3-star green floral. Pleasantly sweet, herbaceous little thing, unpretentious and agreeable. Look at her in. Next up, Fresh by Dunhill, a 2-star green woody fragrance. A very bare, violet leaf masculine with a slight smell of wood glue. Tanya Sanchez. Fresh Patchouli by Jovan, a 3-star banana patchouli. Interesting. Patchouli is filled out here in 2 clever ways. First, its fruity wine quality gets help from a banana-like floral note, ylang-ylang or jasmine. And second, the fresh, woody, green side of patchouli is emphasized with wonderful notes of cut grass and leaves. Better and clever by half than the dozens of heavy-handed, head shop redolent niche variations on the theme. Tanya Sanchez. Friends, Men by Moschino, a 3-star woody citrus. Interesting, fresh, fizzy grapefruit composition in the manner of DKNY women, but less striking. Without great ambitions, but altogether agreeable and crisp with a pleasant powdery dry down. Tanya Sanchez. Sorry. Luca Turin. Next up, Fruit du Bois by Jean-Charles Brousseau, a 2-star citrus woody. Incredibly cheap smelling but passable lemon soap scent. Tanya Sanchez. Next up, Fuel for Life by Diesel. 4 stars surprisingly, fruity herbaceous. Cavaliers, brilliant but unwearable herbs for Marzicord from Le Bleu, lives on in a completely different form in this fragrance, mixed with a weird and very Japanese, camphoraceous, fruity idea first seen in Diptyque's Oyedo. This courageous, inventive, beautifully crafted fragrance will probably not do well because it fails to hit any of the known buttons that would make its intended's audience come back for more. Nevertheless, hope springs eternal. Full marks to Thierry Vasser and Annick Menardot for producing a gem of modern perfume architecture. LT, I personally believe. Sorry, what is it? Yeah. Where is it? Okay. I personally believe that this terrifically weird left-of-center fruity has just the right balance of trendiness, mango sweetness, and brains, the funky herbal angle, the angel-like, camphoraceous feel, to appeal to the hipster girls that Diesel is after. It has the benefit of seeming both clever and dopey, the Lolita Limpica effect. What's not to like? Tanya Sanchez. Fuel for Life, Men by Diesel, a 4-star modern fougere. The name sounds like a lottery for guys trying to ignore Prius ads, and the bottle, wrapped in a zippered, stitched, distressed canvas bag, conjures up third world labor making frivolous objects for the idle rich. After all that, the fragrance comes as a pleasant surprise. It is none other than a brilliantly inventive variation on the purest, most classical fougere theme as seen in Beau and Canu. Enlivened with a sweet, woody amber accord that somehow overlaps perfectly with the original structure without masking it. Nice work. Look at her. Next up, Fumerie Turque. I think Turque, yes. Turque, sure. Fumerie Turque by Serge Luton. It's Turc, not sure. A 3-star floral leather. With a face like a long-lost cousin of Cuir de Russie, Fumerie Turque decorates a floral oriental with smoke and leather notes. Though it was once, if we remember right, a rich, delicious fantasy of pipe smoke, it sadly seems to have lost weight, and smells more like a pale, woody floral with a touch of bonfire than anything else. Tanya Sanchez. Next up, Funny by Moschino. Hey, I saw a lot of people compare Moschino's Funny with Essential Parfums Nice Bergamot, which I'm not sure about because I haven't smelled Funny. But Funny is a very funny name because it has the exclamation mark at the end of Funny. So I read it as Funny to exclaim. Anyway, Fruity Tea, 4 stars. What's funny here is how talent can infuse even the trite with surreptitious joy. In structure, this could have been yet another squeaky clean fruity floral. But one of the delightful properties of intelligence is its ability to counter dumb questions with smart answers. In response to what was no doubt a witless brief, Antoine Maisondieu has produced a small gem of humor, freshness, and transparency. Yo, Fosco, what is up? How are you? What is your scent, if any? My scent of the day was actually Azzaro Prom. I have no idea why I chose it today, but like it called out to me, so that's what I'm wearing now. Azzaro is just like a classic. I get it now. It is very clean and pretty. I do very much enjoy it, though I do feel a bit cosplay when I'm wearing it. Like I'm not an old man when I'm wearing this. Amouage Gold Man. I have not smelled any of the Amouage releases, and I do mean none of them. So I'm sure you're having tons of fun with it, but I'm just not in a hurry to go out and smell any of the Amouage catalog at the moment. If someone's generous enough to like offer it to me, sure, I'll accept it. But I'm not out. I'm not out here to smell it at the moment. So, yes, okay, there we are. Found the continuation of the review. The core accord is tea with rose, overlaid with grapefruit and black currant. The woody notes of the former balance the sulphurous bloom of the latter, and the thing sings like a happy barbershop quartet. Look at her in. Next up, Gardenia by Chanel. Wow, guys, this is the one scent that Luca Turin, sorry, that Eugene from You Smells Good does not have from the Les Exclusifs collection. And Luca Turin has given it 1 star, calling it not gardenia. Chanel's boutique fragrances are so good overall that there was a danger of the gods becoming jealous. Gardenia averts this calamity. It is a thoroughly unpleasant, loud airport toilet floral, very nearly bad enough to grace the ranges of Creed or La Prairie. Look at her. God damn, bro. He tore that Gardenia by Chanel apart, bro. Anyway, Gardenia by Elizabeth Taylor. 1 star, not Gardenia. Sounds familiar. Most gardenias fail to replicate the floral. Some don't even try. This is one. Look at her. I mean, bro, like, say what you will about his opinions, bro. Sometimes he just knows how to write. Anyway, Gardenia by Flores. 2 stars. Not Gardenia. Bro really likes the fucking not Gardenia fucking subtitle. Does not smell in the least like Gardenia. Flores makes a big deal of its unbroken tradition, 277 years and counting, as of 2008. Considering how undistinguished their range is, I will keep quiet about how long they've been at it, like an aristocratic family whose ancestry goes back 12 generations and has produced nothing better in 4 centuries than a judge at Croft's dog show. Hire a good perfumer and get on with it instead of flogging this nonsense at Italian tourists. God, bro has zero chill. Oh my god. Gardenia Passion by Annick Goutal, a 3-star vegetal tuberose. According to Le Restaurant, now of Bond number 9, but the distributor for Annick Goutal in the States for many years, at one point she exhorted Goutal to create this fragrance for American women, because American women like gardenias. The trouble was that Goutal reportedly didn't, which is possibly why Gardenia Passion is actually a tuberose, half-heartedly disguised in a veil of bitter green foliage like an uninvited dinner guest, in red satin, trying to sneak in by crouching behind a fern. Tanya Sanchez. Garofano by Lorenzo Villoresi, 1-star carnation booze. A soliflor, Garofano meaning carnation, based on a roses and clove style base with an overwhelming liquor-like intensity. Liqueur. It's not liquor, it's liqueur. Because it's written with a U-E-U-R, not with an O. Misguidedly strong and sour must be in the dry down. Hard to imagine wearing. Tanya Sanchez. Next up, Garrigue by Maître Parfumeur et Gantier, a 2-star aromatic fougere. This one smells wrong to me. Supposedly created in 1988, it smells very much like a standard issue late 90s masculine. I do not recall the earlier version, but I certainly don't think much of this one. Look at her in. Gaultier 2 by Jean-Paul Gaultier, a sweet milky given 1 star. G2 pursues a sweet barbershop smell of baby powder, a musk with milky floral sweetness, yet played in an uncomfortably high register. Oily green smelling and indigestibly antiseptic. I found it nauseating. Tanya Sanchez. Génie des Bois by Keiko Mecheri, a 3-star green woody. A peculiar homage to the gorgeous transparent fruity cedar oriental of Shiseido's original and now unavailable Féminité du Bois, Keiko Mecheri's Génie des Bois attempts to add a huge dose of cut grass green notes to the structure to freshen things up. It is now a fairly convincing impersonation of fresh cut wood, but not nearly as balanced or haunting as its inspiration. Tanya Sanchez. Ghost Cherish by Ghost, a 1-star metallic floral. This is what I imagine a compounding accident at Robertet smells like. Question: how did the great Michel Almarat manage to do something this bad? Answer: he was given an inadequate budget. Look at her in. Next up, Ginger Chow by Yosh, a 2-star ylang basil. Those of a hippie sensibility may have been looking all their lives for this exact heavy-hitting exotic combination of coconut and the rich overripe banana smell of ylang ylang. But I find it too dense to be comprehensible, with a bit of funk like reused cooking oil. A touch of soapy green basil confuses instead of clarifying. Tanya Sanchez. Ginger Essence by Origins, a 2-star ginger floral. The soapy fiery medicinal smell of ginger root is unusual and feeling simultaneously cooling and warming, but is apparently hard to sustain. The initial minutes of GE are invigorating with a rosy background, but unfortunately the whole thing falls flat soon after. Fun while it lasts. Tanya Sanchez. Ginger with a Twist by Origins, a 2-star ginger, lemon. A takeoff on the original ginger essence, this sparkling body cocktail manages to intensify the enjoyable ginger effect with a lemony geranium booster. An improvement on the first, but short-lived and still somewhat flat in the dry down. Tanya Sanchez. Ginseng Energy Energy by Jovan. A sporty, soapy fragrance. Misprint, they meant GNR, generic. Specifically in the laundry soap genre. That said, you could spend a hell of a lot more on masculine fragrance and still get worse than this. Tanya Sanchez. Giorgio Red by Giorgio Beverly Hills. A 3-star spicy floral. Zing! This is a brash, cheerfully cheap, and spicy floral in the Paloma Picasso mold, with sour, soapy florals and a rough sketch of a chypre base. Not very interesting, but it gives the right impression at a distance if walking by quickly. Tanya Sanchez. Givenchy 3 by Givenchy. Of course, given 5 stars. A green chypre. An earthy English friend of mine used to be fond of the expression good clean dirt, which she applied to situations that would have sent most people scurrying for tetanus shots. She would have loved the spruced up reissue of G3. The leather and green chypres all have a curious lived-in quality that gives Bandit, Jolie Madame, and even the rather prim Y a special feel. As if one were simultaneously smelling several successive applications of the same fragrance on fabric without a dry clean in between. G3 was always the brightest and soapiest of the lot, but it still retained a faintly morning after atmosphere. This long-awaited reissue is a wonderful thing, quite a bit drier and lighter than the original, but none the worse for it, and quicker getting into the distinctive strings only leafy green heart, which goes on forever. Excellent, and a great masculine too. Look at her wit. Givenchy Gentleman, the modern version. The modern version of the OG Givenchy Gentleman, because this is 2008. The modern Givenchy Gentleman has not been released yet. A worn leather, 2 stars. This one has been reformulated. Once great, it is now a sad little woody leather. I get a lot of honey in that. Wow, they really fucked it up. There's 0 fucking honey in that. Givenchy Pour Homme Blue Label by Givenchy, a 3-star tiger balsam. Very nice Vicks Vapo Rub type resinous medicinal start, followed by a woody, spicy dry down, ending with a weird hay note. Interesting new style of masculine fragrance in the matter of Miyake's Le Bleu, though this one is better, more coherent, better built, and not in the least offensive. Smells a bit like you're nursing bronchitis by chewing herbal cough drops. Look at her ring. Gloria by Cacharel, a 3-star amber rose. A sugary fresh rose with impressive radiance and a biscuity almond woody dry down. Very competently put together, but dopey. Tanya Sanchez. Glow by J-Lo, aka Jennifer Lopez. A 3-star metal floral. What's Glow about? Capturing angelic, glistening sensuality, goes the blurb. More prosaically, J-Lo herself adds, something that feels like you just came out of the shower and you are the sexiest person in the world, which in my experience works best if you were that when you went in. That said, it is a nice, unpretentious, squeaky clean floral, with that weird sucked silver spoon sheen of helionol. Perfectly fine on a well-scrubbed 16-year-old. Bro, look at her in. Oh my god, bro. I know you mean the demographics, but shit. That's bro, give me the heebie-jeebies with that description. Glow After Dark by J-Lo, a 2-star floral oriental. And Angela Lurchant's Coco Mademoiselle clone of no particular interest, save that it also comes as a solid perfume in a pendant. Solid perfume is a good idea that should be more widely available. Putting it in a metal pendant is not so good because your greasy fingers will leave marks all over it. Look at her in. Go Green by Lush, a 2-star green citrus. With a limited palette of natural materials like this, mostly citrus, herbs, and vetiver, you'd think you couldn't go very wrong. But despite feeling made of good stuff, the balance feels off. It has the haphazard smell of those essential oil preparations mixed to repel insects rather than smell good. By the way, how is a big black plastic bottle environmentally friendly? The solid version seems less long-lasting. Goddess by Baby Fat. Fat spelled P-H-A-T. What a brand. A 2-star pale rose. Probably wants to be rose when it grows up, though it's hard to find where you've sprayed it a minute after you put it on. Tanya Sanchez. Golden Amber by Becker Ishaya. A 2-star sharp amber. A sweetly balsamic, woody amber oriental, but thin and rather sharp, with some ill-judged fruity floral notes. Tanya Sanchez. Let me get this on the screen. Next up, Etros Goma. It's more like Etros Goma. Anyway, it's a 3-star sweet leather. By the way, hello third viewer, how are you? 3 viewers is very nice. I know you probably are like at work or something, which is fine. Just feel free to listen to my voice. It's a 3-star sweet leather. Gomma means rubber, and I have expected some version of Bulgari's black. In the event, it is none other than a classic leather in the Kniche 10 model, but more floral. Composed by the great Edouard Flechier, it is as good as this unambitious genre gets, but nowhere near the sublime heights of Chanel's Kir de Russie. Look at her in. Gourmandise by Keiko Mecheri, a 3-star woody rose. Gourmandise, or is it gourmandise? It's probably gourmandise. Bears a family resemblance to perfumer Yann Vasny's Palisander for Comme des Garçons. It is a deconstructed woody rose using powerful synthetics for a strange, rich, but transparent effect, with an interesting smell of what may be Devana, like tea and dried fruit, in the floral part. The structure is wonderful, but the materials feel less than top-notch, and one wishes a client would give him a bigger budget to play with. As it is, this is admirable work, but a bit strident. Tanya Sanchez. Gramercy Park by Bond Number 9, a 1-star green soap. The press materials indicate I should be finding a lily in here, but I do not. Very bare herbal masculine. Tanya Sanchez. Grand Amour by Annick Goutal, a 3-star powdery hyacinth. With an expansive powdery radiance on par with Goutal's Heure Exquise and a winning honeyed green floral as sweet as the air inside a florist's shop, Grand Amour has impressive ambitions, combining aloofness and warmth in search of that magical proportion that turns a starlet into a star. But Chamade does everything Grand Amour does so much better. The soap, the powder, the fruity rose, the silvery green sheen. That the whole excellent effort can't help but feel futile. Tanya Sanchez. Grapefruit Cologne by Joe Malone, a 3-star woody cologne. The programmatic name leads you to expect a holographic grapefruit opening blast followed by classic cologne structure. And that's what you don't get. To be fair, grapefruit is a lot harder to do than most people realize. For a start, a true-to-life accord can be obtained only by using sulfuraceous materials that are extremely hard to dose and perceived differently by different people. Some will say grapefruit, some garlic. Good evening, Dushans. Zdravo. My scent of the day is Azzaro Prom. And no scent of the evening because I don't know. Do tell me your scent in chat. And I hope you didn't find my appearance on Eugene's stream too offensive. Like, I hope I didn't, like, go off the wall. You know, I tried to be polite. Whatever happened there, which I have no idea what happened there. But that's all I'm going to say about that stream, which I enjoyed, like, the first section. Anyway, moving on. Yves Saint Laurent Opium, for men or for women? Anyway, where am I? Again, for men or for women? Second, the long-lasting grapefruit material, Nutcatone, is pretty expensive and quiet. Plan B is to do a woody citrus accord with some green notes, as is the case here. And that works fine, but lasts about as long as you can balance a broom on one end of your finger. For both. So you're wearing both opium. Oh, okay, for women. Okay, I got it. Okay, now I got it. I think they still do a modern version of the original opium for women, and I have no idea if that's, like, still good. I might smell it in store someday, see if it's, like, still good, or if it has been taken by L'Oreal. Okay. 10 minutes after spraying, GC turns into a woody cologne. Not unpleasant, but completely unremarkable. Great Jones by Bond Number 9, a 4-star citrus oak moss. Listen, Dushan and the other viewer who can't... Oh, and the other viewer who might be Fosco and isn't, who can't comment at the moment, I'm going to finish reading off this page, and then I'm going to stop the stream because I'm not feeling too great. And I think it will be better for both you and I if my body would be healthier and my voice a lot stronger. So I'm going to finish reading this page and end the stream because I want a good rest and talk with my family. If that's alright with you guys. So, here we go. A 4-star citrus oak moss. Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay, great. Yeah. One of those handsome, traditional masculines derived from the smokier Monsieur Rochat that slide along a seamless path from bittersweet orange peel to dry, grassy vetiver woods, avoiding on the one hand any gourmand or flowery flourishes, or on the other hand, that masculine weakness for monogrammed leather objects, see mouchoir de monsieur or eau d'Hermès, that leads you to suspect a diagnosis of gout in later life. Instead, Great Jones is discreet and steady, beautifully reserved, the smell of a fellow you could count on. Tanya Sanchez. Green, and ... Green by Miller et Berthaud. Berthaud? Or is Bertha? Not sure. Probably Berthaud. A 3-star lemon leaf. 3. The was a lemon tree that grew behind my childhood home, and I used to pick out its leaves and rub them between my fingers. A simple, lovely smell. Pleasant, woody floral dry down. Tanya Sanchez. Green Irish Tweed. I won't do the guessing game, but it's not 5 stars. It's 4 stars. A fresh green fragrance. Probably the only truly great fragrance produced by this firm. It was composed in 1985 by Pierre Bourdon. Yo, what's up, Bob? I will absolutely have a great weekend, and thank you for, coming on the few final seconds of the stream. Because I'm not feeling too well right now. So after I'm ending this page, which is right after reading Elizabeth Arden's Green Tea, which is after this review. I'm going to hit end stream again because I don't feel too well right now. But I do appreciate your guys's viewing me, even if you don't say anything in particular. Because sometimes I think like, why the hell is anyone here? But if you're here and you're watching me, that means a lot. So thank you for that. Yeah, it is 4 stars. And also, if you want to like the stream, that would be nice. That's the most I'm gonna ask from you. That's it. Okay. Okay. 1985, but people don't. 3 years later, rehashed a similar structure in the hugely successful and endlessly imitated Cool Water. Green Irish Tweed feels as good as it ever did, with the brilliantly imitative accord of ambroxan. Hey, you guys remember ambroxan? Lovely neighbor. Metallic amber, dihydromercenol, gray citrus, and octane esters, green violet leaf. Sweetened by a touch of apple up top and sandalwood below. I mean, again, wouldn't know. I haven't even smelled Cool Water, let alone Green Irish Tweed. I think I'll be fine without it. Like, it's probably like a nice citrus green scent, which is good. It's nice. Anyway, where am I? There I am. Apple up top and sandalwood below. Brilliant, legible, perfectly balanced, immediately recognizable. Look at Turin. And I'm also pretty sure he gave Cool Water 5 stars. Although I don't exactly remember. I think he gave Cool Water 5 stars while giving Green Irish Tweed 4 stars. And the last fragrance for review, that is, for this stream, again, because I'm feeling a bit down, is Green Tea by, oh my god, and now the viewers start trickling in? Now they start trickling in. Maybe I just need to drink some water. Sure. I'll continue a bit more. See if you guys are willing to stay for a bit more, and I'll try and keep going. Mostly because I think my problem isn't that I'm down; it's that I'm a bit dry in the throat. So I'll read Green Tea and go and fill water, and I'll have you guys hold down the fort for me, if that is fine with you guys. So, Green Tea by Elizabeth Arden, a 2-star lemony floral. It's a bit difficult to say why Arden. Listen, I can't do that, bro. It's a thing. I can't expose my. It's my family and people who like. It's exposing them to the public. Like, you guys they're there, okay, and they're having fun, and that's all. So you guys stay here, hold down the fort while I go and get water after this review. But I do appreciate your comment, Fosco. I do need a bit of humor in the chat. It is a bit difficult to say why Arden needed to put out a green tea fragrance in 1999, 6 years after the much better Eau Parfumée au Thé Vert by Bulgari established this particular style of airy lemony floral as being green tea. Except that Elizabeth Arden green tea is much easier for most Americans to say than Bulgari Eau Parfumée au Thé Vert by Tanya Sanchez. Uh, I will say there were burgers at the start, which is nice. Sure, they're store bought, but they're store bought burgers made from ground ribeye, which is a bit more expensive. Uh, there's also red wine. My parents are huge wine snobs, so the wine is always quality. After that, there were lamb steaks, but also more importantly, uh, well, ribeye steak, which I had a medium slice, well, a medium, cut of ribeye steak, which, a little pepper, a little salt, heavenly. That's that. And hello, fifth viewer. Sorry, I am going to fill up on water now. And also, great comment, Dushan. I Perfumers are interesting type of people who I would like to pick out the brains of in that regard, and it would be yo Mark. What's bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. Would it be bonjour? I'm sure. Let's go with bonjour, bonjour. And thank you for coming on. I'm currently doing just a series where I'm reading out reviews from the 2008 edition of the Perfume Guide from Luca Turin and Tanya Sanchez. But for now, I'm going to fill up on water because I'm feeling a bit parched. Feel free to wait and hold down the fort for me while I go and fill up on water. It won't take very long, I promise. Thank you. I'll leave on the light so you guys don't think I'm abandoning you. Whew. Okay. I am back. Whew. Yeah, I mean, I had both. Like, I couldn't say no to either a burger or a ribeye. Let me just fill up on water for a bit, and then we'll continue on. Thank you for all for staying. Whew. Okay. Now we're refreshed. Whew. Gregory by Fresh Scents by Terry. I have no idea what this brand is. A 2-star metallic patchouli. Described on Terry's website as the, in quotation marks, rugged, sexy flavor of every man, end quote. This was a potentially interesting idea of soapy patchouli with the smell of tin unsuccessfully carried out. And yes, I said unsuccessfully. This was written by Tanya Sanchez. Next up, Grenat by Keiko Mecheri. Max Sorry, that was the little kid of my family's friends. He decided to barge in. I told him politely to get out. I wasn't being rude to him or anything. It's just I'm a little shy around children. That's really all. Anyway, Grenats is a two-star green apple. Resembling mostly one of the hundreds of citrus and green apple masculines we can't tell apart, Grenats has nothing particular to do with pomegranates. Hard to see the point. Tanya Sanchez. And next up, we have, from Jeffrey Bean, Gray Flannel. I think now would be a great time to play a nice game of what did Locaterin give this fragrance? From 1 to 5. What did Locaterin give from 1 to 5? Let's do a little guessing game. Anyone in the chat willing to, throw the ball to dunk the person sitting on the stool in the carnival game? 5. 5. Okay. Is that the chat's final answer? I'm gonna give you 10 more seconds from now, and we'll see if you were right. And I think after that, let's have you guys, decide what I'm going to spray on for a little bit on my hands this evening, because I do have some splashes of Azzaro Perome on me at the moment. But this is one thing. The spray on the hand is another thing, which I want you guys, Elmavin. So, the answer now is he gave Gray Flannel, as Fosco has correctly pointed out, 5 stars. Incredible. Calls it a sweet green fragrance. Very interesting. Very few masculines have been more influential than GF, released in 1975. It is the halfway stop in the long journey that leads from Fougère Royale to Fahrenheit. While still properly herbaceous and inedible, its distinguishing feature is a top note in which fresh citrus components were married to the leafy green of violet leaf and galbanum resin in such a way that the fruit juice quality of the citrus was completely gone, and only its woody aspect survived. This weird accord was a precursor to the woody almost citrus dihydromercenol of cool water, only far richer. What makes GF fascinating is the way the dry half of the fragrance is rounded off by a sweet, herbaceous, coumarinic note that provides perfect balance and fit. All in all, and despite the fact that gray flannel can occasionally feel a little crude, a masterpiece. Luca Turin. Okay. Now is a good time for you to be a little interactive, which I hope you guys are willing to do. Let's go and whip out a few things, a few candidates, if you will, to spray on my hand. Let's go first with a mini bottle. Not Azzaro, because I already have Azzaro on. I may regret doing this. Our mini bottle is a vintage mini of the OG Givenchy Gentleman. This is our mini candidate. And now we will do... Bob, really, it's like... I listen, I'm personally a bit scared of children, and it's an irrational fear. That's all, I don't mean harm to kids. It's just I'm personally scared of kids with no real reason as to why. Okay. Next up, we'll do the three blind decant pulls. Shaking it up, and pulling one out. Jardin de Baratel is the first decant. Bellon by Blaise Abstrait is the second one. L'heure bleue? Nah, I can't do l'heure bleue. This is unfair. This is unfair, okay? This is going to automatically win. We can't do this one. Parure by Guerlain. These are our three fragrances. Hello, seventh viewer. So let me run them by you again. We have the one Bob voted for with a bit of a screw up. We got the Givenchy, the vintage OG Eau de Toilette. We have Jordan de Bagatelle. We have Bellon. And we have Parure by Guerlain. Which I don't know how many of you guys have smelled this one. Because I've never heard of this until I got it in the mail. This one was just eluded me. I had no idea that this existed. It was like a to me. I didn't know, like, what the hell was this? But it was interesting. Zdravo, Juro, zdravo. But yes, these are your choices. Hi. We're currently deciding together what my little arm scent for the evening will be. Because I'm still smelling a splash on my chest of Azaroprom. So now we're just deciding an evening smell on my hand. So your choices are the mini bottle of Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Toilette, the OG, which Bob has voted for, and the three decants are Jardin de Bagatelle by Guerlain, Bellon by Les Abstraits of Eugene fame, or would it be Eugene of Les Abstraits fame? Either way, our last decant is Parure by Guerlain. These are your four choices. We have a vote from Bob currently as the leading vote on the mini bottle, which is very cute, kind of like how the neck of the bottle is kind of like a top hat, top hat brim, if you will. That is very nice and cute. But yeah, any other takers in chat willing to throw me a vote? Let's give it like 10 more seconds, and then I'll just put on the gentleman. Okay, maybe 10 more. 10 more? Okay, Bob. First of all, I listen. It's okay, but I don't want to feel uncomfortable on my stream. Like, I know it's kind of irrational for me, and it's like, I don't know. That's all. Okay. Listen, the thing is, he probably is watching it currently on the TV of like the our. No, I don't think he is, but like for a moment he was watching me from the TV. My family and the family friends put me on my live stream on the TV for them to watch because it's a smart TV. So like he knows I'm doing this. That's all. So yes, with two votes from one from Juro and the other from Bob, our winner for tonight's scent of the evening is the Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Toilette. Thank you everyone for participating, and now we will put on the splash. Let us do it. Da, 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 da. Okay, let's do it. It kind of looks a little suspicious. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Oops. Okay, here we go. Spread it out a little. Okay, here we go. On one arm and now the other. Sorry, I had a little problem there. Yeah, it's it certainly is potent. Thank you guys for you know getting me to choose. Thank you guys for choosing my scent of the evening for me. But now I think I am going to depart now. Thank you everyone for hanging out and watching me. It's getting close to an hour, so I think we did good for now. I'm thinking of starting an hour later than usual, so that means, starting like I did today from, you know, what would it be like 7 p.m. GMT. I think that. So yeah, now I'm gonna go. Thank you everyone. And yeah, that's gonna be me for today. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. תודה רבה. ספסיבה большое. Domo arigatou gozaimashita. And all of the above.